Hi, my name is Mike Head from Atlas Ceramics. I'm here today looking at some outdoor porcelain tiles, and the common question we get asked is how do I intensively clean them to bring them back to what they were like many years ago. So to do this today, I have some water, which is 2.5 litres. I've got 1/2 litre of intensive cleaner, which is from Lithofin here. It's an alkaline cleaner, okay, which I'll put into that. I've got a scrubbing brush. I've got some water here to rinse it all off. The most important part is, of course, rinsing it all off. I've got a sponge to put it on and to rinse it off. I've got an emulsifying pad and, of course, a towel to buff it off at the end. Before we start, you should always consider actually doing a test area. Somewhere out of the way, you don't see it. And the most important part of doing the test area, see what mix you need to do. Because if you haven't got it so dirty, when you use this, don't use it so concentrated. Do 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 5. And that way you can go a lot further and it doesn't cost you so much money. In this particular case, we've already done a little test on it, so we know roughly that we're going to use 5 to 1, okay? So before we start, so we've got a little test area. In this area, I've done a little close-up video, which will come in. You can see that there's a lot of ingrained dirt in the grout joints here because this tile has actually been cleaned on a regular basis by the customer. You can see some green algae there sitting on top. You've got the iron rust spots coming up there as well. So overall, you can see how dirty it is. So we're going to get to actually cleaning the tile now. So I've got my intensive cleaner. Tips, of course, wear some gloves in any sort of situation where you're using chemicals. It's a nice dry day. I've got some time today, so I'll put all that in there because I had 1/2 litre because I've already used 1/2 litre. Okay, so basically going to tip a little bit on there. I'm going to do a controlled area just to make sure it's all does the result that I want. So I'm just going to push this around an area. There we go, just pushing it around. And what I'm going to do now is just leave it to let it do its work. Now I leave it for about 2 minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll scrub it again and then leave it again for another 2 minutes. We're looking at leaving this for about 10 to 15 minutes. But for every 2 minutes, you need to just agitate it. And the main way to do it, don't use the point, don't use anything like that, just use the whole brush to actually scrub the floor, getting into the grout. All right, but because we're doing a controlled area, we want to keep all the liquid or the mixture in a controlled area here. All right, so what I'm going to do now, leave it for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to keep agitating it, and then we're going to pick back up once it's had that time to do its job and actually clean the tile. Hi, welcome back. I've actually given it sort of 15 minutes now, but and the floor looks clean enough. You can extend that, so rather than doing 10 to 15 minutes, you can go 10 to 20 minutes. As I said, I've been scrubbing it every 2 minutes, just keeping an eye on it. I'm just going to do the final scrub right now. I'm going to put a little bit more product on it. Okay, so the main thing is to add product as you go through. If it starts to dry or just not seem enough on there, and then give it some final scrub. The main thing with the scrub is always put your back into it. There we go, still in the controlled area. On the grout joints, use the full brush, put your weight on it. Grout lines. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is take off the treatment, and I'm going to put it back into the treatment bucket. There we go. Look at that. I can see it better, of course, being here. This really has come up and brought back the colours of the tile. Lovely. And I know the customer's going to be really pleased with this. Remember, we're only doing a test area. Once we're happy with the test area, and then we will replicate it into larger areas. Remember to control areas, not doing the whole floor, because you want to be able to keep on top of it, keep scrubbing for the time that you've actually done it for. in this process. You can also use a broom. So rather than being on your knees all the time, you can use the stiff broom to actually get into the grout joints and cleaning the tile. All right, so the next thing to do is to make sure that you rinse it off properly. So good bit of water on top. Move that around, getting all the product off. You may want to give it a final little scrub. There we go. Lovely. So it's looking really good, really clean. I can still see the rust marks or the iron marks are still on the tile, but the tile is clean. Now what people have done in the past is they've been more interested in cleaning the actual or removing the iron marks. What can happen with that is that you can see how to remove my iron marks, or these iron marks, on my next video, which you can see, or rust marks. But what they do is they actually go straight to how to remove the rust marks. And then what happens is when it's dry, you get all these sort of like patches, little white patches or lighter patches. And people think there's something wrong, that you've damaged a tile or something like that. So then people will call us out and say, what's wrong? The product's not worked. What's really happened is the actual stronger cleaner that's removed the actual rust mark has actually cleaned the tile. So really the patching and the other areas is dirt. And that's what you do. So you must follow this process. You intensively clean the tile first of all. If there's still marks left on, like there is, then you go to my next video, how to remove rust from your outdoor porcelain tiles. Okay, so I'll just rinse it once more, and then I'm going to buff it off. And then what we're going to do is do a nice little video of a close-up of how it now looks, so you can compare it. All right. Lovely. What you can see here is how much the grout has been cleaned up from the previous video, how much lighter the tile is. Unfortunately, there's still some rust spots here, but the main thing here is that we will concentrate on that on our next video. You've just seen a nice close-up of the tile, so you will have seen the difference that it has come up from the previous close-up video. So we're really happy that that's come up real clean. As I mentioned, there's a couple of rust spots that have been left there from furniture, that sort of thing. Which I'm going to cover in another video of how to remove it. But remember, as I said to you before, always thoroughly clean your tile before you attempt to remove any deeper stubborn stains. If you have any questions, then please contact ourselves at Atlas Ceramics, either via email or by WhatsApp, whichever you want to do. But otherwise, I'll see you on your next video, and thank you for listening. Till next time, bye-bye.